Before the full-scale Russian war against Ukraine, there were 22 large factories in the Federation producing cars from the mass to the premium segment. After the introduction of sanctions and the departure of automakers, production fell into a coma. Almost 2 years later, not even half of enterprises got out of it.
For example, the AvtoVAZ plant. It was almost entirely, while it was still working fine, but owned by a French company. Accordingly, all the technologies, all the developments, these were not Russian technologies, these were European technologies which they used.
The main victims of auto production downtime are specialists and employees of these enterprises. For example, the management of a nationalized former German plant in Kaluga is forcing workers to quit en masse. Over the past 2 months, 1,300 employees have lost their jobs under pressure from the administration. That's more than 30% of the total staff. At the plant, German equipment is cut with grinders in the workshops, and the vacated areas are used as warehouses for Chinese-made cars.
Russia has hydrocarbons, oil and gas. Russia sold a lot, and at a certain stage of its development, it decided why should they develop something when they can buy it for the money that oil and gas give Russia. And now the downside of this policy comes down to the fact that in Russia they can no longer create technologies for themselves that will allow them to make something.
Russian authorities also considered the option of transferring assets to new investors, primarily companies from China, but none of them decided to make a serious purchase. As a result, the combination of all factors led to the fact that production fell far behind demand this year, but demand began to grow.
Let me remind you that in May of 2022 compared to May of 2021, the number of cars produced decreased, if I am not mistaken, by 96.7%. Then Russia said, we resumed production, everything is fine, but it turns out that what Russia resumed, as they said, was not the production of cars, it was the production of car parts made in China. Then they came to Russia, and there, roughly speaking, they screwed the wheels to them, which does not require much modification.
According to experts, there are no prerequisites for car production in Russia to reach pre-sanction levels at the moment. Moreover, the situation will only worsen for 2 reasons: the outflow of professional personnel and Russia's ever-increasing lag in technological terms. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Vasil Panasiuk, UATV News.